I have volunteered for Operation Blessing on a number of occasions. I've assisted war orphans in Eastern Congo and earthquake victims in both Peru and China. And I've lived in Africa, so I've seen a lot. But the suffering of Somaliland's vulnerable children is one of the worst things I have ever seen. When I arrived in Somaliland, I was immediately struck by its emptiness. It sits up in the tip of the Horn of Africa, and it is a dry and desolate place. There are only two places in the world that are not recognized by any other country or state. A place called Nagorno-Karabakh in the former Soviet Union and Somaliland. So by all accounts, Somaliland does not exist. The country is littered with symbols of the horrific wars that still plague this part of Africa and contribute to this being one of the most desperate places on earth. Driving through the barren countryside, we came across some families that were living in really harsh conditions. Their houses were made from scraps of fabric that were woven together. Some of their animals had died from the drought, and it was clear that they were living on the very edge of survival. In a place where life is this hard for the average person, imagine how much harder it must be for vulnerable children. Operation Blessing found an orphanage in the capital city of Hargeisa. Most of the 327 children are orphans, either because their parents died in one of the wars or because they were abandoned. I spoke with one of the older orphans. His name is Bashir.
I'm about 20. I don't know the day I was born, but I can imagine. Yeah, maybe I'm 20. My father and my mother, both of them died in the civil war, and I was an orphan. I had nobody to take care of me, so that's why I was taken to the orphanage.
Bashir showed me around the compound and introduced me to the children. The orphans craved any little bit of love or attention that they could get. They were even arguing about who would get to hold my hand. It's clear that these kids don't get any affection.
This is all that they have to play on, and as you can see, it's totally ruined and they need something new.
One of the kids has been given the nickname Obama, and he goes around the compound shouting, "Obama for change!" The older children seem to have this amazing ability to cope with their struggle. But when you go to visit the infants, you get a real sense of how bad this place is. The conditions are appalling. They spend every day caged up in dismal cribs, and I was told that these are the lucky ones because many babies left abandoned are eaten by wild dogs.
This baby over here is rocking. Has absolutely nothing to do all day. It just lays on its stomach. This room is completely lifeless except for the children. There's no toys, no color, there's not even any bed linen on the cribs. This little girl is 3 years old and she's had severe fevers and diarrhea and she's not eating. They're trying to feed her to keep her alive. High energy food through her nose tube.
The orphanage is really struggling just to keep some of the children alive. For many years, they didn't even have a supply of fresh water.
This little guy's name's Mustafa, and as you can see, he's really happy right now. But over a year ago, when Operation Blessing first heard of this orphanage and came here, he had a really bad skin infection with lesions all over his face and body. But Operation Blessing installed a water supply system which enabled these kids to have showers every day. And as you can see, Mustafa's skin is completely healed and has had a huge impact on all of the kids' lives here.
It's great to see how we made a difference for the children, but there is still so much that needs to be done. In a place that doesn't exist, these children are crying out, "We do exist, and we need help." And they're not the only ones. Across town, there's another project that Operation Blessing has been supporting, a school for children with special needs. When I arrived at the school, it was break time, and there were children playing frantically everywhere with anything that they could find. Then the lunch bell goes and the kids start shoveling food in. For most of these kids, this is the only meal they will get to eat all day. Most of these children have come out of horrific situations. I had heard stories of how special needs children in Somaliland suffer abuse and are kept tied up in chains by their families. Maybe because the families are ashamed of the child or just because they didn't know what to do. While we were at the school, we got a call from a social worker telling us to come and see a child he had found in chains.
This is Mustafa, and he has a learning disability, but when he's at home, his mother chained him up so that he doesn't run away.
Musa's mother explained that she was divorced, had 7 other children, and had no choice but to chain him up during the day. It was really hard to see little Musa in chains, but the School for Special Needs Children is providing a solution. Social workers go out and find special needs children, then bring them to the school and give them education and physical therapy with amazing results. They also give training to the parents of special needs children to change attitudes towards disabilities. These are children that were once neglected and chained, but can now be part of their own family. One of these children is 11-year-old Abdirahman. I met him and his father at the school. Abdirahman was once kept in chains because his parents couldn't control him, but after attending the school, he is able to live normally with his family and is a totally different boy. I was invited to visit the home and meet his family.
This little girl is his little sister, and we've got his whole family here.
We use it to take a chain and tie the chain here, and then to tie his leg, and he used it to sit there. Sometimes we use it to chain him outside. We use it to chain here. I was very sorry about tying. We use it to kill him. Otherwise you escape, never come back. I knew nothing else.
It was great to see a child who has undergone such a huge transformation. And Operation Blessing has recently started a new project to help these children even more through healthcare. We have launched a clinic that is staffed by volunteer nurses.
What is the most common sickness that you'll see with these children?
The most common from diarrhea and diseases, and also meningitis, so the hepatitis, and HIV, vomiting.
Without the clinic, these kids would not have any other access to healthcare. We have also opened a free pharmacy to serve the school and local community, and by improving the health of the kids, we can help make their schooling and transformation even more effective. But we need to do more. Musa has started the process of recovery, but there are still many more children in chains. Mustafa's skin is healed, but he still sleeps on the floor. The infants have water, but no toys to play with. The orphans need a real playground rather than a pile of old tires, and they need shoes to protect their feet. And the list goes on, but it's not hopeless. We can and will make a difference, but we need your help to do it. If you want to be a part of changing the lives of these vulnerable children, then support Operation Blessing, and together we can make an impact to change a child's life.